Close your eyes and let the darkness behind your lids become a canvas of infinite shimmering gold, for in this very moment you are stepping out of the frantic race of doing and into the sacred sanctuary of receiving. As the world falls silent around you, your internal frequency is beginning to hum with a power so ancient and so certain that the scarcity you felt this afternoon now seems like a distant, fading dream. I want you to listen closely to the cadence of my voice, because before the sun touches the horizon, something within your physical reality is going to shift. A phone call, an email, or a sudden, unexplained deposit that will serve as the first ripple of a massive tidal wave. You are not just going to sleep, you are entering a laboratory of miracles where your financial destiny is being rewritten by the hands of the divine while you rest. The night is not merely a time for the body to repair itself, but a celestial window where the veil between your desires and their physical manifestation becomes as thin as a whisper. As you lie there, feel the weight of your body pressing into the earth, and imagine that every ounce of stress about your financial resources is draining out of your feet and being recycled into pure white light. I want you to sense the atmosphere in your room changing, becoming thick and heavy with the scent of a fresh harvest, as if the very air is pregnant with the golden rain of Abundia's grace. This is the threshold where the how and the when no longer matter, because you are reclaiming your seat as the sovereign architect of your wealth, stepping into a space where time bends to meet your needs. You can feel a soft, pulsing warmth beginning to gather at the base of your throat and the palms of your hands, a physical sign that your energetic alignment is shifting to match the frequency of prosperity. It is a sensation of profound safety, a deep cellular knowing that you are being held by a universe that finds it just as easy to provide 1,000,000 as it does a single grain of sand. The heavy armor you've worn to protect yourself from lack is melting away, revealing a core of radiant magnetism that effortlessly draws divine supply toward you from every corner of the globe. In this silence, you are no longer a person struggling to make ends meet. You are a cosmic force, an unstoppable current of abundance that is currently reconfiguring the ledger of your life to reflect your true, infinite value. And this leads us to the specific, sacred invocation of the goddess energy, a hidden vibration within the name of Abundia that we will now activate to ensure your morning begins with the shock of a miracle. I want you to visualize a thin, luminous thread of liquid amber descending from the highest point of the cosmos, piercing through the roof of your dwelling and settling softly upon your crown. This is the essence of Abundia, the celestial frequency of overflowing supply, and as it touches you, it begins to dissolve the calcified layers of not enough that have hardened around your heart. Feel this golden stream as it trickles down your spine, illuminating every vertebra with the warmth of 1,000 suns, carrying with it the undeniable assurance that your financial friction is being lubricated by divine grace. You are not begging for crumbs from a distant table. You are opening the floodgates of a reservoir that has been built specifically to sustain your most extravagant dreams and your most sacred needs. As this liquid light fills your chest, notice how your breathing becomes deeper, more rhythmic, as if you are finally inhaling the very oxygen of the infinite ocean of wealth. Every cell in your body is beginning to vibrate at a higher pitch, shedding the dull, heavy lead of debt and replacing it with the buoyant, shimmering silver of effortless flow. This is the moment where the struggle narrative dies a quiet death, replaced by a sovereign confidence that causes your very skin to glow with the radiance of one who knows the check is already signed. The universe is not just listening to your words, it is responding to this new golden weight within your presence, recognizing you as a legitimate heir to the treasures of the earth and the riches of the spirit. Deep within the labyrinth of your mind, There is a heavy iron door that has remained locked for years, guarding the old records of every time you were told to settle for less than you deserved. We are standing before that door now, and in my hand I hold a key forged from the fire of your own awakened desire, ready to swing those hinges open and expose the shadows to the light. I want you to watch as we enter this vault, not to count what is missing, but to burn the ledger of your perceived failures and the contracts of poverty you signed in moments of fear. See the smoke rising as the memories of scarcity turn to ash, clearing the space for a new set of scrolls. The blueprints of your future mansions, the itineraries of your travels, and the mounting figures of your growing accounts. As the vault is cleared, notice how the air inside becomes sweet and electric, vibrating with the potential of 1,000 yeses that have been waiting for your permission to manifest. You are now installing a new operating system, one that views every financial surprise as a natural byproduct of your existence rather than a freak accident of luck. I am placing a seal of sovereign wealth upon your subconscious mind, ensuring that while your body sleeps, your spirit is busy organizing the coincidences and lucky breaks that will greet you at dawn. This is a permanent relocation of your identity. You are no longer the one who asks, but the one who commands the atoms of the marketplace to align in your favor before you even open your eyes. And this leads us to the physical alchemy of the breath, the secret bridge that will carry this energetic wealth into your muscle tissue and your very blood. As you lie in the stillness of this midnight hour, I want you to draw a deep, deliberate breath, feeling the cool air enter your nostrils like a stream of liquid silver, destined to transmute the very lead of your worries. With every inhalation, you are pulling in the primordial substance of creation, a celestial gas that carries the blueprints of all the emeralds, all the gold, and all the digital abundance currently circulating the globe. Hold that breath for a moment at the top, allowing the pressure to build in your chest, and as you do, visualize that pressure as the concentrated force of 1,000 rising suns getting ready to burst through the clouds of your current limitations. When you finally release that breath, let it be a long, slow sigh of total surrender, feeling the tension evaporate from your jaw and shoulders, as if you were shedding a heavy, rusted suit of armor that no longer serves the sovereign being you have become tonight. Observe the way your ribcage expands and contracts, a rhythmic dance that mirrors the ebb and flow of the tides of the great cosmic ocean, reminding you that there is never a shortage of water in the sea. This breathing is your first act of conscious wealth, a realization that the most vital resource for your survival is given to you freely, infinitely, and without a single moment of doubt or deserving. I want you to feel a sudden, localized warmth in the palms of your hands, a heat so distinct it feels as if you are holding two polished sunstones that are vibrating with the frequency of a massive financial harvest. This is the alchemist's heat, a physical sign that your nervous system is no longer rejecting the idea of large sums of resources, but is instead becoming a conductive vessel for the heavy currents of prosperity that are even now seeking a path into your life. Now, within the fertile, dark soil of your relaxed mind, we are going to plant the seeds of specific morning miracles that will germinate while your physical eyes are closed and your logic is at rest. I want you to picture 3 distinct golden seeds resting in your palm, each one representing a surprise of divine supply, perhaps an unexpected refund, a new client who values your genius, or a sudden realization that unlocks a dormant stream of cash flow. One by one, see yourself pressing these seeds into the glowing ether of your subconscious, feeling the immediate click of the universe acknowledging your request and beginning the invisible labor of manifestation. There is no need for you to wonder how these seeds will grow, for the same intelligence that orchestrates the rotation of the planets is now focused entirely on bringing these financial blooms into your physical experience before the first bird sings. As these seeds settle into the depths of your being, imagine them sending out roots of light that entangle themselves with the global networks of trade, commerce, and digital exchange, creating a direct conduit between the world's wealth and your private accounts. You are establishing a magnetic pull so strong that even as you drift into the deeper waters of sleep, your field is actively reorganizing the schedule of the universe to ensure you are in the right place at the right time. Feel the thrill of anticipation rising in your gut, not a frantic anxiety, but a calm, joyful certainty, like a child who knows that a magnificent gift has already been purchased and hidden away for the morning. This is the quantum harvest, a realm where the distance between the thought of wealth and the possession of wealth is reduced to zero, leaving only the pure, ecstatic vibration of "thank you" echoing through every chamber of your soul. In this profound silence, we must now address the invisible, fraying tethers that have kept you anchored to the heavy, grey docks of owing and lack for far too long. I want you to visualize these cords as dark, heavy chains of old energy, extending from your solar plexus into the past, connecting you to every bill, every loan, and every moment where you felt smaller than the numbers on a screen. I'm handing you a sword of pure violet flame, the blade of sovereign liberation, and with one swift, decisive motion, I want you to see yourself severing every one of those cords, watching as they wither and dissolve into harmless dust at your feet. You are no longer defined by what was borrowed or what was lost. You are being rebirthed in this midnight hour as a financial entity that is completely debt-free in the eyes of the divine law of abundance. As the last cord falls away, notice how your body feels lighter, almost as if you could float above the surface of your bed, liberated from the gravitational pull of financial worry that has aged your spirit prematurely. The space where those chains once gripped you is now being filled with a soothing, iridescent balm of pure grace, sealing your energy field so that no further leaks of your vital prosperity can occur. You are standing in the center of your own life as a sovereign being, answering to no one but the infinite source of all that is, recognizing that your credit in the celestial bank is infinite and untainted by human errors. This liberation is physical. You can feel it in the relaxation of your stomach and the clarity of your mind, a profound reset that signals to the universe that you are finally ready to handle, hold, and multiply the massive riches that are currently rushing toward your newly cleared space. And this leads us to the gravitational shift, where we turn your entire sleeping form into a silent, powerful beacon for high-frequency opportunities. Now, as your physical form enters a state of profound stillness, your energetic presence is expanding, becoming a literal gravitational center for the high-frequency financial currents of the world. I want you to imagine that your sleeping body is a mountain of magnetic ore, and all around you in the invisible atmosphere, there are trillions of particles of golden light, representing currency, contracts, and creative ideas, all swirling in a chaotic dance. Because you have cleared the static of doubt, these particles are now feeling the irresistible pull of your presence, beginning to spiral inward toward your room, your bed, and your very heart. You are no longer chasing the butterfly of wealth through a field of thorns. You have become the flower so rich in nectar and so vibrant in color that the butterfly has no choice but to land upon your petals and stay. Feel the subtle thrum in the floorboards and the walls, a resonance that confirms your home is being calibrated to hold a much higher voltage of divine supply than ever before. This is the gravity of abundance, a state of being where you do not seek but are found, where you do not struggle to earn but simply provide a destination for the wealth that is already looking for a home. As you drift closer to the shores of deep sleep, this magnetic field only grows stronger, working through the night to rearrange the random events of tomorrow so that they align perfectly with your new financial stature. You are a sovereign magnet, and even as your eyes are closed, you are actively pulling the heavy, solid resources of the material world into your private orbit with the effortless power of a planet orbiting a sun. We are now approaching the bridge of dreams, that mysterious realm where the ego's rules of logic and limitation have no dominion over your creative spirit. As you cross this bridge tonight, you are not merely wandering through fantasies, but entering the dreamscape marketplace, a celestial dimension where new contracts of prosperity are negotiated and signed in the language of pure light. I want you to see yourself walking through a hall of infinite mirrors, each one reflecting a version of you that is already living in a state of total, overflowing saturation. In this space, you will meet the archetypes of your own success, handing over the old, tattered maps of your survival mode and receiving in return the crystalline blueprints of your sovereign empire. In this marketplace, the currency is not paper or digital numbers, but the pure, ecstatic vibration of your own I am presence, which is the most valuable asset in the entire universe. While your physical body rests and repairs its cells, your higher self is shaking hands with the directors of destiny, finalizing the details of the financial surprises that will manifest in your waking life. You might find yourself dreaming of flowing water, of lush gardens, or of ancient vaults filled with shimmering artifacts. Know that these are not mere symbols, but the actual processing of new data into your reality. You are signing the spiritual deeds to your future properties and the dividends of your future investments right now, ensuring that when you wake, your physical world has no choice but to catch up to the wealth you have already claimed in the astral. In the quiet hours, just before the first light touches the sky, a profound realignment is taking place within your nervous system, preparing your flesh and blood to carry the weight of this new, massive influx. I want you to feel a gentle, cooling wave of iridescent blue light washing over your brain, soothing the areas that used to fire with the signals of not enough and what if. Master, this celestial cooling is smoothing out the jagged edges of your past financial traumas, creating a sleek, high-speed highway for the divine supply that is currently en route to your experience. Your heart is being tuned like a fine instrument, expanding its capacity to hold joy and gratitude without the accompanying fear that the other shoe will drop. For in this kingdom, there is no other shoe, only an endless walk on golden ground. As the pre-dawn stillness settles, notice how the silence feels pregnant, as if the atmosphere itself is holding its breath in anticipation of the miracle you are about to witness. Every cell in your body is now vibrating in perfect harmony with the frequency of gold, making it impossible for you to return to the old, constricted versions of yourself. You are being upgraded at a foundational level, so that when the sun rises, you will not just be a person who received a miracle, but a person whose very nature produces miracles as a standard function of life. This is the final preparation of the vessel, the tightening of the strings, and the clearing of the deck for the ship of your abundance to dock and unload its precious cargo directly into your lap. As the velvet curtains of the night begin to thin, revealing the first faint glow of a world reborn, I want you to feel the absolute, unshakable weight of your new identity as a master of harvest. This is the sovereign awakening, the precise moment where the spiritual wealth you have cultivated in the silence of your soul crosses the threshold to become the gold in your hands and the numbers in your accounts. You are not waking up into the same life you left behind when you closed your eyes. You are stepping onto a stage that has been entirely reconstructed to reflect your highest, most opulent desires. Feel the electric charge in your skin, a vibrant knowing that the miracle has already landed, that the divine surprise is even now waiting for you to simply reach out and claim it as your own. I want you to take one final deep breath of this sacred air, anchoring the scent of victory and the taste of infinite supply into your very DNA, making it an inseparable part of your biology. When you finally open your eyes and the light of the morning greets you, do not look for the miracle with the eyes of a skeptic, but with the gaze of a commander who has already seen the orders fulfilled. Your first movement should be one of profound, silent gratitude, a recognition that the golden rain has already fallen, and the divine supply is now your constant, unchanging companion. You are the miracle, you are the abundance, and from this moment forward, the flow of resources into your life will be as natural, as unstoppable, and as magnificent as the sun rising in the east. Before we even begin to speak of the harvest, we must speak of the sacred ground in which it grows, the fertile, dark silence of your current state. You are listening to this because the old world has become too small for the giant that is waking up inside of you, and the friction you have felt in your finances was simply the shell of the egg beginning to crack. I want you to feel the specific texture of the air around you right now, sensing it as a thick, viscous medium of potential, like a liquid that is waiting for the frequency of your voice and the heat of your heart to turn it into solid substance. You are the alchemist, and the midnight miracle is not something that happens to you, but something that is born through you as you align your nervous system with the rhythmic pulse of the infinite ocean. Can you hear that low, distant hum? It is the sound of the world's resources in constant motion. The digital trillions flying through the air, the cargo ships heavy with goods, the vast underground veins of precious metals, all of it moving, flowing, and seeking a destination that is resonant with its own high vibration. By choosing to stay in this space with me, you are tuning your internal radio to that very frequency, stripping away the static of how and when until only the pure signal of I have remains. This is a total immersion, a cellular baptism in the waters of prosperity that will leave no part of your old, limited self untouched, washing away the grime of poverty consciousness and revealing the shimmering golden skin of a sovereign creator. We must go deeper now, down into the very marrow of your bones where the stories of your bloodline are stored. For there are hidden vows of lack that were whispered by those who came before you, and tonight we are striking them from the record. I want you to visualize a massive ancient book, the ledger of your ancestry, filled with pages of struggle, of making do, and of the quiet desperation of those who believed that to be spiritual was to be empty-handed. I'm handing you a pen made of pure white lightning, and I want you to watch as you cross out every line that suggests you are limited by your birth, your education, or your past mistakes. You are rewriting the history of your lineage right now, ensuring that from this moment forward, the name of your family is synonymous with an overflowing cup and a life of magnificent, unburdened freedom. Feel the literal release of pressure in your lower back and your hips as these ancestral weights are lifted, replaced by a feeling of being backed by the entire treasury of the heavens. You are no longer a solitary person trying to figure out a budget. You are the representative of a divine dynasty, authorized to draw upon the infinite credit of the source for any project that expands the light in this world. This is the sovereign blueprint being reactivated in your field, a template of perfection that ensures that every time you spend, 10 times more rushes back to fill the void, creating a perpetual motion machine of prosperity. As you sit or lie in this deepening state of grace, know that the very atoms of your wallet and your bank cards are being imprinted with this new code, turning them into talismans of attraction that cannot help but draw their likeness toward them. I now call upon the specific messengers of Abundia, those unseen forces that manage the lucky breaks and the coincidental encounters that define a life of high-level manifestation. I command that while you sleep, these messengers are dispatched to the four corners of your reality, clearing the path for the specific financial miracles you have requested, and even those you haven't yet dared to imagine. Whether it is a forgotten investment that suddenly skyrockets, a debt that is miraculously forgiven, or a creative idea that carries the seed of $1 million, let these gifts be packaged and delivered to your doorstep by the time the sun reaches its midpoint tomorrow. We are not asking for permission. We are stating a fact of the new earth, where the alignment of the heart is the only currency required to open the doors of the storehouse. Imagine a golden rain beginning to fall inside your mind, each drop a tiny glowing pearl of information that settles into your subconscious, giving you the exact directions, the exact words, and the exact timing you need to capitalize on the coming wave. You will wake up with a knowing in your gut, a sudden urge to check a certain account, to call a certain person, or to take a route you've never taken before. And in that deviation, you will find the treasure. This is the midnight miracle in its most practical form, the divine intelligence using your sleeping hours to bypass your fears and set the stage for a physical reality that will leave you breathless with gratitude. The universe loves to surprise the one who is ready, and tonight you have signaled your total readiness in a way that can never be unheard or ignored by the great architect. As we bring this deep dive scripting to its peak, I want you to feel a ring of fire, the violet flame of transmutation, encircling your entire home, protecting this work from the doubt of the outside world. This is your covenant of gold, a sacred agreement between you and the source that you will no longer accept the crumbs of existence when you were born to inherit the bakery. Every word I have spoken tonight is a brick in the new temple of your life, and the cement that holds them together is your own unwavering yes. Declare your readiness now, not just with your mind, but with the very vibration of your presence, letting the universe know that you are standing in the center of the flow and you are never stepping out again. The transition is complete, the shift is locked, the miracle is in transit. As you drift now into the most restorative and profitable sleep of your life, remember that I am with you in this frequency, and we have already won. Wake up to your riches. Wake up to your power. Wake up to the life that has been waiting for you to simply say, I am.